So I saved y'all a little bit of time being bored just watching me pressure wash these things. I pressure washed both of them at the same time. They were disgusting. Patina, as we like to call it. Cobwebs, dirt, I don't even know what else. There must have been 1,000 spiders on these things. But I got through all that grime and grit, pressure washed all that off, and now we can see what we're working with. So I decided to go ahead and just go through all the small things to show y'all. I've got the battery out. It came with a new battery. The battery was in the box, but it's 5 years old. So I'm going to throw it on the battery tester. We're going to test it out, see if it's good. Go through just general air cleaner, things like that. Going to look at the oil, see what it looks like. I'm going to change it anyway, but just to see if we got spark, if we get it to turn over, all that stuff. So I've got a bunch of parts on order. I've got the jet kit, air intake. I've got all new oil, new filter, 2-inch lift kit. Not crazy, but again, this is a solid rear axle, so we can't go wild with it. I got a couple other goodies we're going to throw on this thing. I've actually got, see on my shoulder here? Right here. So those are my stock tires that came with the Defender when I bought it, because it had the XMR. It came with the 30-inch cryptids. I've been doing some research. I don't know yet until I get it up and bolted, but it should be the same lug pattern. So theory is I'm going to be able to unbolt these tires that are on it and bolt the 30s right to it. Fingers crossed. So we're going to get into this build. So let's go. So, here's the battery. It's a Duralast. Like I said, it said it was 2017 on the box. I had to dust this thing off. All this is a battery load tester, so it's going to put a load on the battery. It's as simple as hooking it up, and you can see the little needle there. We're going to hit it and see it drops all the way down. There you go. Hear it clicking, you see the needle drop. This battery is no good. I'm gonna start ripping everything else down. We're gonna check out this air filter. I have a feeling, I do have a K&N on the way, but I have a feeling, I haven't even looked at this, it's probably not gonna be good. Get off these clips. And oh look, it's already got the bolts out. It'll save us some time. I can already see, look at this. All right, yeah. I would say that shot, huh? Up there. Oh, just disintegrating. Look at that. I can't even get it out. It's just coming apart. And there you go. Even if that was good, I wouldn't use it. Because if I'm doing a jet kit and exhaust, we need more air in, get more out, more fuel mixture. So K&N, hands down the best thing you can get. Any type of reusable lifetime thing. So probably my best bet is going to start getting some of these plastics off. There's a ton of screws that hold them on, but there's also all those stupid little plastic rivets, which they work good, but they're kind of a pain in the ass. But I also found the old toolkit, so I don't need that anymore. All right. So this thing is cool. You can actually screw bit, drill bit, slide that on. It's just a magnet. Okay, so I decided to take the rack off. Rack bolt. But I looked under here. See if you can see. So right here, where am I at? Right here. It's a bolt, which is a pain in the ass to begin with. But it also had a cotter pin. Who designed that? It's got a nut and a bolt and a cotter pin, I guess, so it doesn't vibrate loose. So that's fun. The main problem I'm gonna have with all these little cotter pins and parts and everything is I'm gonna lose them. But Zephyr Hills cut off, you can label it, and they're cheap. I have a bunch, and if I need more, I'll just drink some more water. I think it's a good idea. What the hell? Is anyone else like me that they put something down and it disappears forever? I feel like I get my projects done 10 times faster if I could just remember where I set my stuff. Alright, so the other side was already missing all of the screws down by the floorboard. That's why it came off and now it's stuck, so I'm going to zip those off. I'm going to fast forward to the front, because you've seen the back, and then we're going to have a completely stripped down naked four-wheeler. All right, y'all, so we just got home, had a little family day. I went through this thing, ordered a ton of parts. Everything takes forever to get in lately, but everything came at once. Apparently, Amazon was here, USPS, maybe a new FedEx driver. The only reason I say that, I got home and it was an Easter egg of boxes everywhere, an Easter egg hunt of boxes everywhere. There's literally boxes scattered all around my front yard. I don't understand how hard it is to see a gate, put it on the other side of the gate, guys. Come on, it's simple. We got a clutch kit. I had to order the primary puller, a Super Duty belt because I plan on beating on this thing. Ooh, jet kit, and K&N filter, and lift kit. So we're only going 2 inches on this. The front axles on this thing suck. They are super tiny. I haven't ordered those yet. I've been looking around. We'll get ahead and get some of those. But the front diff, one of the axles looked a little loose in there. When I put some torque on it, kind of went up and down. So probably a bad bearing. I'm going to pull the axle off, get in there, make sure it's a bearing. Found a bearing kit. It's $100. Bearings and seals for the entire thing. So while I'm in there, might as well do that. But before I get crazy with it, I need to make sure this thing runs. So we're going to go ahead and pop that jet kit out. I'm going to pull the carbs out. This is one of those single carbs, but it's 2-in-1 kind of, since it's a V-twin. So there's a giant bug about to attack me. That just made me lose my entire train of thought. Dual carb setup, but it's 1 carb. So they're 2, 1 unit. Brand new, these things are like $1,200. It's crazy, but we should need a new one. It's gonna take a little time. I'm gonna pull all that, get in there, clean it out real good, put the jets. I'm gonna steal the battery off something else because I don't have one. We're gonna see if we can at least get some turnover, get some spark, and as long as it runs, then I can go ahead and go crazy with getting the axles and redoing the front end and the lift, and then this thing is gonna be badass at the end. All right, y'all, I'm gonna open this box. I feel like they made this sticker for me. So how many of y'all have ever just got excited and just ripped into something and destroyed it? I have. This guy. So I stayed up late last night, went ahead and got the new jets in from the dyno jet kit that I put in there. Checked all the other jets, adjusted the fuel mixture. It was actually pretty clean in there. I was surprised. The Honda Recon, if you watch the other one when I did it, it was nasty, nasty. The carb was actually fairly clean. It was just a huge pain in the ass getting it off. It's a weird system. The actual radiator... So like everything I've had was air cooled. This is a radiator cooled, and it must be some kind of vacuum because it actually goes through the carburetor. It pulls through the radiator fluid. So kind of weird. Making sure all that was hooked up. So got that. I quit last night just because I didn't have any gas. Went and got some fuel this morning. We're gonna go ahead and pour it in here, and I got the battery charger on it, and we're gonna see if we can just jump this thing off, get some fire. If not, we'll go from there. I think it'll crank. There you go. So we had fuel finally make it. Change that plug, so that's the first time it's actually fired over. Choke it. Oh, so close. If this would just hold, and I could use both hands. Just like that, it's running. My heads-up display is not working, but I'm going to look and check, make sure the water circulating through the radiator, all that fun stuff. We're just going to let it run and smoke up the shop here. Alright, so I'm going to let that thing smoke the shop up, but so we finally got fuel up in there, cranked on it, I don't know, probably 30 seconds, a minute, got it going, and it sounds like it's got good throttle response and everything, so my jets must be the right size. Obviously I went off the instructions, you just never know. Set the fuel mixture, everything seems okay for now, so I'm going to let it run, let it get warm, try to get it, because like I said, it's been sitting so long, it's going to smoke for a while, I'm sure, and go from there. Alright y'all, so this is build-up day. We tore it down, we got it running. I finally got parts coming. I've got clutch kits right here behind me. Oh, right there, see it? Yeah, okay, we're putting that on. I had to get wheel spacers because the tires are too big. I got a bunch of stuff for the snorkel, so we're just gonna throw it all together, and then we're gonna get this thing out and show it finally moving. It's been probably a month. I've been working on it in my off time when I had time. It's been a long time coming. I'm excited to finally get this thing going.
All right, spacers. Oh yeah.
2-inch.
Oh, the big boy, big boy.
All right, y'all. We got the 30-inch cryptids that Kendall. All right, y'all. We got the 30-inch cryptids here that I took off the Can-Am Defender. We put the 40s and the big lift on it. Nobody wanted to give me what I thought they were, so I kept them. Luckily enough, the Kawasaki Prairie is the same lug pattern, so I just had to get these spacers to fit it. Throw them on. All right, y'all, I got the 2-inch wheel spacers on. Check this out. I mean, that is tight, right? That's the exhaust side, and it is literally up against the, it's like a little, I don't know what it is, like a heat shield, not a heat shield, I don't know, some kind of shield around the gas tank. I still have to put a lift on it. We're gonna go ahead and obviously do the 2-inch, but look at that. That's a fat ass right there, ladies and gentlemen. I think she'll be able to go do nicely with that. All right, y'all. So I was checking the front end, checking the axles, and I noticed the one axle had some play, but it wasn't in and out, it was up and down. So in the chunk, it was going up and down. I was like, well, this ain't good. So bearing issue, right? So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna pull these axles, checked, and when I pulled the axle, I don't think that, I'm sure at one point this thing was, had oil in it, but it was all mud and water. I don't think that's supposed to be in there. I went ahead and pulled this thing. I figured I'm doing it. I found a rebuild kit, all the bearings and everything for $100 online. So let me show you what I found when I pulled this thing off and broke the case part. That is not what it's supposed to look like, ladies and gentlemen. And then if you hear, yeah, not supposed to sound like that. And look at this. It's supposed to look like that outside, not on the inside. I mean, everything just rusty, nasty. When I pulled this section off here, all these little clutches here, all these balls came flying off. So had a bunch of that right when I pulled it off. That's what I had. So I think first time ever, I'm gonna have to actually take this thing, it's so dirty, and bring it over to the big sink and wash it with soap and water to try to get it back to how it's supposed to be inside there. I'll probably parts clean it, and then I gotta get all these bearings off, and then just another step in the process, guys. All right, y'all. So I finally got it in. So there we go. Brand new belt right there. New clutch springs in the primary and secondary. The secondary, I had to actually build my own little compression tool. It was like 90 bucks on the EPI website. I didn't want to pay 90 bucks, so I went to the hardware store. I got a big threaded rod, maybe a little bracket, screwed it down, compressed it down, put the snap ring on, and there we go. If you want to see how I did that, I'm gonna make another quick little video that'll be separate. You can go find it. And we're gonna get this bolted up, put the cover back on, try to get this thing up and going today. Lift kit's coming next, and then we're pulling it out of the garage. Put the 2-inch lift on the back, came around to the front, and the Kawasaki's have these weird like shock strut assemblies. So there's no top A-arm, it's just the shock into that. And it's got these big, huge nuts, and somehow I lucked out. I had this from my portals, when I put the portals on the side-by-side, exact fit. That never happens. It never works out that easy for me. I thought I was gonna have to find a pipe wrench or go hunting around forever. So yeah, awesome. So I'm gonna zip these off, put the little 2-inch little thread things I'll show you, and we'll be done with this thing. All right, y'all, so I stayed up late last night and I finally got this clutch kit put in. The clutches are in, the new belt's in, the 2-inch lift is on, the 2-inch wheel spacers are on. These damn tires are so big. I'm getting a little rubbing issue now that I wasn't getting when I put the wheel spacers on the front tires. So 30-inch cryptids, when it fills it up, you can see it is tight, tight, tight. I've got a little bit of space. But up here now, I wasn't really rubbing up front, but now when I turn, we're hitting right there. Right there. It's not too bad. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it yet. If I take the spacers out, it's actually not too bad. It doesn't rub it rubs up on the front a little bit, but it's only rubbing plastic on the front, so I can take that off. It's not a big deal. Whatever. I don't think it matters. I think so. If we leave the 2-inch spacers at the front, it'll be a little narrow in the front, which isn't a bad thing. They're already the 10-inch wides in the front, so it'll just be a little more inset. So if we're in ruts, those tires are pulling. I think tires are in a perfect line. We're just riding in the same ruts, right? I feel like there is something to that for sure. So that being said, I'm going to crank it up and see if we can get it to move and get it out of here. It is still obviously in pieces, but this is going to be the end of this video. The next video will be the complete finishing of this thing with the snorkels, probably relocate the radiator. I don't know yet. We're going to see if we can get it out of here first. Come on, baby. And the brakes work and everything. So, looks like we're blowing a little smoke out, which it looks like it's too much fuel. Actually, it smells like it's too much fuel. Yeah, it looks like the overflow is overflowing. So, it's probably just a float sticking, so I'll have to kind of mess with that a little bit. But other than that, the clutches seem good. It's got good power. I'm just going to go through a couple other things while I've got all this off. Probably working the snorkels right now while everything's off. And then we're going to throw it all back together. So the next one will be this thing looking like it's brand new, but 20 years old. So a lot of work, definitely worth it. I picked this thing up with the Honda Recon that you saw on the other video for $2,500. I'm going to total it all up, and I'll let y'all know what I got in this thing on the final video when we get it up and going and take it out for the first time.